Hello, all live people. Today is December 21st, 2021. Our story begins from August 2019. My daughter and I and my husband moved to Union County in August of 2019 from Bergen County. In the meantime, I was registering my daughter at that time in Burnett Middle School for education purposes, of course. Within 1 week, I was in the guidance counselor's office about 9 times. Now, which parent do you know actually ends up in an office to register a child 9 times who has special needs? Then I was told the documents of residency wasn't good enough. I was told her IEP wasn't good enough. Meanwhile, I am sitting in the office and I call my older brother. My older brother gets on the phone with the office lady and yells at her. We are living in our family home in Union Township, Union, New Jersey. My name is Nisa Bahar. My husband's name is Carl Blatchford. My daughter's name is May Lake Davis, who is 16 years old as of today. Now, with all this being said, I had requested my daughter to be reevaluated according to New Jersey IDEA Act for special education because my daughter was due for testing January of 2020. I have found out Union Township District will not test any of your children, nor would they comply with any type of court orders, nor will they comply with any type of special education laws, like the Disability Rights of New Jersey Act, the ADHD Act, the Behavior Challenge Law Act, the Stay Put Challenge Law Act, and the list goes so on. So my daughter was placed on home instruction right away without testing, placement, or anything. I ended up going to the superintendent's office. Oh, let me rewind. I had to drive to Bergen County just to retrieve my own child's transcripts. At that time, her caseworker name was Rosa Texera. I ended up meeting up with Principal Shaw, Rosa Texera, and Joe Suling at that time. My daughter had a fit because they were not allowing her in school and they just threw her on home instruction like it doesn't matter. Now, then I went to the superintendent's office, talked to Mr. Tatum, told him if he did not place my daughter in any type of education at all, I was going to sue them. Still without my daughter being tested, she was placed out of district in a behavioral challenge school at Lambert's Mill Academy, which was still not an appropriate placement for her. We've had issues with Lambert's Mill Academy in Westfield. They do not communicate with parents, remind you that. I did have a DCPP case where the principal actually released her IEP information without consenting her caseworker, stating that my daughter missed 49 days of school and that the mother is the barrier to her daughter's education. Meanwhile, I've had numerous meetings, and so has my husband, with Mr. Samuels, indicating to let us know of any type of incidents or in any way whatsoever so we can address and help the situation, which was not done. So with that being said, her IEP was released without consent. My daughter was on virtual because of COVID. And then, so the principal decides to turn around and say, well, we emailed the students to let them know to sign on. So you're taking high school kids and you're emailing them and letting them know to sign on classrooms without acknowledging the parents, stating, well, your child did not sign on today. Is everything okay? According to New Jersey state law, when your child misses 12 days of school, the Board of Ed will be at your door, as well as DIFAS. Not only that, the district was paying for her out-of-placement district, and the Union Township Child Study Team, Carrie Ring, Joe Suling, Kim Conti, were not notified. So then, fast forward, my CPS case settles. Then next thing you know, I find out my daughter's school laptops, IP addresses are being blocked by the principal. My daughter was 5 minutes late to class. The teacher kicked her off. My daughter wanted to eat a snack. The teacher kicked her off. So we went through 3 laptops, including our own home technology. Every single one of them IP addresses were blocked. Miss Ring knew about it. Joe knew about it. The district all knew about the letter that he had written to DCPP, which I have a copy of. Everybody knew about it. So my daughter's been working with her therapist from CM. She has a CMO worker. She has a therapist from CMO, Bernadette and Lauren. So schools knew that my daughter had all these things, and the district still refused to test her to place her appropriately. So when we had a meeting around the summertime of April or March or whatever, Mr. Samuels, Joe, and Carrie Ring, I had mentioned that I had a letter from Mr. Samuels, and he did not like that. And right away, my daughter was terminated, which is a retaliation against a parent, because I had acknowledged that there's a letter exists that was submitted to a judge bashing and slandering the mother and a child, and then calling my child a liar in the letter. Then calling a parent a liar too. So fast forward, April 14, 2021. She's on home instruction. She had Miss Capola and Mr. Serrano. And then we signed off consent forms to place her again at a district. Not an IEP evaluation, placement at a district. Which on the consent forms it says New View Academy, which was another behavioral school program. So let me ask everybody in the general population who has special needs kids, if you have a child that has not been tested since 2019, okay, it's been almost 4 years now, how can you place a child in an appropriate school setting with special needs without proper evaluations to know what is the appropriate setting for her? New View Academy had to do 3 intakes. One with Mr. Hudson over the phone and everything like that, and whoever. Then I had to do an intake, go see the school with Miss Ring. Twice I had asked the district to re-evaluate my child because I knew her evaluations were due. I was told by Miss Ring, and I quote, New View Academy will test her. They'll test her. Not once has my daughter been tested. Now, my daughter's 16. Ever since my daughter was born, I have every single record. Early intervention treatments when she was doing occupational physical therapy. I have her preschool IEP. I have taken her to Children's Hospital Philadelphia when she was 6 months old. I have her birth documents from Beth Israel and JFK. I also have documents from Children's Hospital in Mountainside when she was 4 years old, had her tested for ADD or ADHD because her preschool teacher, Mr. Barnett, noticed there was something wrong. I still have emails to her old state caseworker from Middlesex County. I have every single record of my daughter. The only 2 things I do not have from this district is a proper IEP evaluation, which also states in every single special education law. So my daughter ended up starting Newview Academy. Things were going good. She was doing well. They set her up with a social worker, Miss Dominique, and she was doing this and she was that. Then here comes a girl named Jasmine. Let's start with that. Jasmine started a couple months after my daughter did. Jasmine started taunting my daughter, bullying my daughter, and she would tell Miss Dominique, she would tell the principal, she would tell everybody what was going on. We requested a HIP investigation to be done, which Mr. Hudson did not do so. Newview Academy is a part of Rutgers Behavioral Health. They are also accompanied by the New Jersey State Department of Education because they do take special needs education children. Which the district keeps saying they're private school, they're not private school. They are not private. Just because they are partnered with Rutgers Behavioral Health, they are not a private school. So we had a meeting with my husband and I, with Carrie Ring and Jolene Suling in August regarding incidents with Jasmine. We all discussed they had to separate them two. The school was to provide me like with an extra aid to walk with her down the hall so nothing would happen, yada, yada, yada. Was that followed? Nah. Do I have written information about that? No, because it was all just talk from Union Township District. So then it keeps going on. My daughter just defends herself. What is she supposed to do as a child? One day I go to pick up my daughter early from school, and I have a meet. Mr. Hudson calls me into his office. Can I talk to you? I said, no, I gotta go because I had an appointment. Well, in that meeting, you would think Mr. Hudson would give the courtesy to a mother to speak and ask questions. Well, that did not happen. He point blankly said that I'm a liar, my daughter's a liar, and my husband's a liar. Oh, and then my husband had numerous conversations with Mr. Hudson and Joe and Carrie requesting all incident documents. Not only that, Newview Academy knew that she was on ADHD medication, she was on antidepressants, etc., etc. They had her therapist's phone number. They had Dr. Burnell's phone number from Children's Mountainside. They had her CMO worker's number. Well, you think they would contact them to get information. They still did not do that. So here we go. Jasmine starts attacking my daughter on social media. Yeah, guys. The biggest bullying sites ever, social media. Which we have proof of. We brought it to the school's attention. Was anything done? Nah. But you got Jasmine who goes on a walkie-talkie from a teacher saying, F me harder, daddy. Yeah. These are the schools that they put a child in. And they don't even care. Then it just keeps going, and the bullying, the intimidation. We had requested the school. We had implemented, the parents themselves implement, to have phone calls once a week to determine of any type of incidents whatsoever. It only lasted a month. That was it. A month. One day, back in April of 24th of this year, we got into a really severe car accident. Our car got totaled. Thank God we were alive. My daughter didn't go to school because she had a chiropractor appointment. And I'm sitting in the room with her. All of a sudden now, the intimidation, the bullying, the harassment starts from who? From Jasmine. Stating she's going to beat her up, she's going to come to our house, she's going to kick her ass, she's going to bring people. And then also, this other girl named Marilyn started telling Miss Dominique that my daughter's this and we're this. Now, Marilyn hung out with my daughter and stayed at our house. Yeah. Then starts more trouble with my daughter. I called Miss Dominique right away and I explained to her. I said, I do not care, but I'm not happy that this kid is going around spreading rumors of my child that she's finding out through other people while in a chiropractor appointment when she is not in school. Did they acknowledge that? Nope. Now, New View Academy has a point system. For every point, you get 40 points for good behavior. My daughter has come home with 40 points almost every day of the week for a very long time. 2 or 3 times she had a couple bad days. But here's the other part. Every time there's an incident that happens, you ask, where's Miss Dominique? Where's the aides? Where's Mr. Hudson? Where's this? Where's that person? Oh no, they're always all busy. They're all busy. They're all busy. They're all busy. They're all busy. Of course, they will not give the time and the day to a child with special needs to address concerns emotionally, God forbid if someone really beat the shit out of my daughter, and then what? So now let's fast forward to the beginning of the year. September was good. October 12th of this year of 2021. My daughter was getting a drink of water and Jasmine was out in the hallway and pushed my daughter into a wall. My daughter defended herself. And then my husband gets a phone call from the school stating our child is suspended. Okay. For 2 days. Okay. Can we please have the incident report? We still never received the incident report, by the way. Never, ever. No. So then, October 18th of 2021, I am at work. My daughter calls me at 7:52 in the morning. Mommy, where's my bus? I'm going to be late for school. I said, let me find out. Call the bus. Oh, she's suspended. I said, no, she's not. She's only suspended for 2 days. Well, let me call dispatch and find out. Okay, no problem. She texts me back and she says she's still suspended. I said to my daughter, I said, I'm coming to get you. I will take you to school and find out what's going on. Then I call my husband before I drive all the way over there. My husband calls Mr. Hudson. And Mr. Hudson tells my husband, oh, well, you didn't know? Oh, Carrie Ring and I had a meeting on October 12th, 2021 to determine termination of placement. Now, there's a lot of violations here, guys. So, anyone who's going to listen to this, listen very carefully. For parents who are in my shoes for special education for Union Township District Board of Education. Okay? They did not implement no behavior challenge law. They did not implement stay put. They do not do manifestation determination with her disabilities. They do not do any other assessments. She does not have an IEP in Union Township Board of Education that's supposed to state behavior implementation goals, positive reinforcement, goals and objectives, education, other objectives, where she stands, where her weaknesses are, what's the achievement, what anything that is supposed to have. Her social history, nothing. No proper evaluations were done. We found out through a bus driver that day that our daughter was suspended. And us parents had to call the school ourselves to find out what was going on. Carrie Ring didn't email us. Joe Suling didn't contact us. Kim Conti didn't contact us. Taylor Scott didn't contact us. Nor did the Union County Board of Special Education, who oversees everybody, Tanya. Nobody contacted us. It's a shame, a disgrace to any kid who is suffering just to get a special education needs met. Proper IEP, a free appropriate education, implementation of behavioral I mean, all these laws apply to kids who have special education, right? So my husband and I decided, not only did we get a stupid ass advocate, Doug Dreschler, who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and at the same time, we had a meeting on October 27th of 2021 with Kim Conti, Mr. Hudson, Carrie Ring, Doug Dreschler, myself, my husband, and Cherie Tarika Attorney. She is from Floria's, oh, hold on, guys. She is from Flora, Protrudy, Stanhart, Capella, Tipton, and Taylor LLC from New Providence in New Jersey. The most dumb attorney I have ever met in my entire life, who boasts herself as to be a special education instructor, an attorney, but she's dumber than a doornail. I'm going to tell you all that right now. If she was so smart, she would actually know that the District of Union Township of New Jersey screwed up big time. Now, we have all these evidence from Lambert's Mill Academy, pictures of my daughter's laptop being blocked, a text message from her Spanish teacher. I'm sorry, you can't get on, Malik. We have all this evidence, everything. Then we also have social media evidence from Jasmine attacking my daughter. So if this attorney was really smart, she would just turn around and tell the district, you gotta do what you gotta do. Because they can potentially sue you for damages and punitive damages and wages and mental stress and emotional stress, everything on a 16-year-old child who cannot get a free appropriate education. You know why, guys? Because they want to take her 2019 IEP and say that she's an endangerment to her peers and her community, which was not even documented. Why? Because she got kicked out of school for defending herself? How's that wrong? We had a meeting October 7th, 2021. Mr. Doug Dreschler, I'll give him a tiny credit, where he asked Carrie Ring, is Malik's IEP up to date? She said no. And she asked and then he asked Kim Conti, is Malik's IEP up to date? She said no, we've been using 2019. And then he asked the principal, was there manifestation determination done? He said no. Then he also asked them, was there behavior implementation in her IEP? No. Okay. So obviously those are violations. I asked Mr. Hudson a question that he couldn't answer. I said to him, I said, you told my husband 4 different stories. Which one is it? The first one was that she was soliciting other kids to beat this girl up. The second one was she was blocking the door of this girl's classroom so she couldn't get out, or she was trying to get in. The third one was she was in her classroom taking off all her jewelry, getting ready to fight.
And we knew about it.
And the fourth one was that the parents knew that Malik was going to get into a fight. So I said to Mr. Hudson, I said, which story is it? Because you told 4 different stories. I tell you guys, I recorded that meeting and it's all on audio. And then he did not respond to that question. He signed himself off and ran away and came right back on. So now we get a message from Doug Dreschler on that same day telling us that the district will not implement. Oh, and this is what Cherie Tarika too. She also stated on the recording that they will not re-implement a new IEP at all. At all. It's on recording. I have it. So, with all that being said, we filed paperwork through the state of New Jersey, Department of Trenton. I called Trenton and I told them what was happening. And they said, well, you need to file due process paperwork. We said, okay. So during this whole entire time of the meeting and stuff like that, you know, we filed paperwork. Now, by the advocate, I was told I was a liar, that I never told him about this, which I did because it says it in my text message. And my husband and I actually waived the right for mediation, settlement, any type of resolution. We wanted to go straight to due process because we knew violations were violated. We go to court in November? We go to court in November. We go see Judge Dale Cookson, who hears us. October 30th of 2021, I just had shoulder surgery done. That first week of November, we were in court. Yeah. Then everything was presented to the judge, Judge Gail Cookson. She also questioned why the attorney presented a false IEP. Wait, I'm sorry, guys. It's not an IEP. It just says meeting notes on there. There's no signatures. And as for parents, it excludes my husband's name. But in the meeting notes, it has my husband. She's trying to say my husband was not at the meeting, which in the invite, it clearly states my husband's name and his email address. Then there's no signatures on that. And the judge even questioned it. Why is there no signatures on this? And it also states that she was to be on home instruction until she graduates high school. Wow. It's great. Meanwhile, Governor Murphy just signed a law back in May of 2021. $11,000 per student for special education. Per student. 11 grand for each district, for each child that is in special education needs. Not only that, your taxpayers' monies is paying for this attorney and paying for my daughter to get a free, appropriate education, which I am battling, the state of New Jersey. Now, we went to Judge Cookson. My husband and I sent him all this information, and she actually questioned the district why the mother was there 9 times in 1 week to register a child. Yeah. Kim Conti didn't have answers for that. Neither did Carrie Ring. Her therapist was there. Her CMO worker was there. Her therapist also indicated to the judge that she works with students who are worse than my child, who go to Union High School, who have worse issues for special education and are being accommodated for it. Her therapist also indicated to Judge Cookson that putting my daughter in these behavioral schools was not an ideal for her. You're taking a special needs child and you're bouncing her from school to school, school to school. What is that going to do to a 16-year-old child? It affects you emotionally. It affects you mentally. It affects you psychologically. Even when you have a child who is already has issues. So let's just add more triggers to it. And her therapist even said that Malik is not an endangerment to her community or to her peers. She also indicated that Malik needs to be back within her peer community or more of a less restrictive schooling, like public, and for her to excel. She said these behavioral schools were such a trigger to my daughter. Well, so her therapist said that, and And then the judge asked Kim Conti, Miss Conti, you can provide services for me like in your school district, right? She said yes. Well, when Carrie Ring was asked that question, she said no. Wow. Now, just recently, I just found out from her therapist that she has a child who's got Asperger's syndrome in Union High School who made a threat, a terroristic threat to everybody in the building that he was going to kill everybody. He got suspended for 10 days and started getting evaluated right away, and he's back in school. Do we see a problem? Yeah. October 12th of 2021, my daughter still has not received education. But we have a court order from Judge Gail Cookson that states to implement temporary home instruction, to implement less restrictive schooling, to put her back with her public community, to provide services that the district can, to implement a new IEP evaluations. All of this was signed in November. This was court ordered November 2nd of 2021. The documents were signed on November 19th, 2021. Yeah. So, once again, nothing was implemented. So, 2 home instructions. Mr. Serrano, who just comes and drops off paperwork and work and leaves. My daughter emails him, I need help. Can we set up time? I don't understand. He said, no, nothing. He don't care. Then Miss Capula, her English teacher. My daughter canceled 3 times on her. And the other time, Miss Capula canceled. Yeah. My daughter had a doctor's appointment with her pediatrician on December 20th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Her home instruction was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I get an email from Miss Capula saying, oh, no, that's okay. I have an appointment too. And so she canceled. So now she's trying, and then she goes and emails a 16-year-old teenage child stating, I am no longer your home instructor. Wow. What happened to the court order that was supposed to be filed, where the district was supposed to communicate with the parents? The district's supposed to tell the parents what's going on. The district is supposed to inform of all these changes. The district is supposed to update the parents on everything. It's court ordered by Judge Cookson. And my notes are on Judge Cookson's court order. Because they were trying to say, my daughter has no other options whatsoever. They will not provide no other services for her. Now, the best part about all this is Miss Tarika Sharif, the attorney. Oh, we caught on to her little games too. She started emailing the judge saying, my daughter's sick, I can't do court today, I can't submit documents on another day. Next day comes, my Wi-Fi's not working, I'm waiting for them to fix it. Next day comes, She submitted paperwork in at 5:30 in the morning, which is a false meeting notes without parent signature, which is an illegal document that cannot be presented to the courts without the parent's consent. Wow. Then, Mr. Hudson, when we had a meeting October 27th, we asked him for all those incident reports, and so did Doug Dresser. And he said, no, they're all internal. But the attorney got it, submitted it all in without the parent's notification, which is prior written notice. Okay? So then we also found out that this attorney was trying to exclude the judge on any type of emails between me and my husband. She was trying to change the judge, requesting for a new judge. Then she starts emailing my husband separately. Now, my husband is my daughter's stepfather. But even though that's her stepfather, but that's still daddy to her. But he has not legally adopted her. And she went behind my back and emailed him separately about education, saying, please call me. I would like to talk to you. We have a settlement proposal. Wow. Then she emails me, as you could tell, I am excluding the judge out of this. Please call me. I think we can resolve all of this. And then also, when everybody tried to email her at one point, Jennifer Wissam comes on from a different law firm and says that she no longer works at this law firm. She gave us the wrong law firm's name. Isn't it great? Then she was trying to change judges, email separately, do sneaky things behind everybody's back, lie about her daughter being sick, submitting illegal documents. Oh, and then in her paperwork, she also said the parents were a barrier to the child's education. Once again, how can we be a barrier to our child's education since we have done nothing but advocate for her since 2019 of August in Union Township District? Not once has anybody freaking helped in this county. They will not help you. So everybody in the United States of America, in the state of New Jersey, taxpayers, you're paying for this attorney to fight for Union Township Board of Education. To go against me so my daughter doesn't get an education. So now we are going to deprive a child from education? Wouldn't you call that neglect? That's neglect. That's neglecting a special needs child. Now, Union High School has services that they can put into play. They can take her, they can place her in classes, okay, and still evaluate her. Wow, I know that because they did it to me. In 1995, I moved to Union County District with my grandparents in this house, right? I was not allowed in Union High School for about a month and a half. They would not let me in knowing that my grandfather had the deed to the house. My next door neighbor at that time was the attendance lady, kept on saying, I know her, she lives right. I had to go to court. They made me go to court just so I can go to school. And they still had nowhere to put me. Yeah. So then my sister, I have a niece, and asked to have my niece tested. They refused. She threatened to sue them. They tested her. My niece ends up having dyslexia. My neighbor around the corner just took Union County to court for due process hearing because they wouldn't test her daughter either. Okay. And also, if you ever try to contact Kim Conti, Carrie, Joe Stooling, or Scott Taylor, or Tanya, or anybody, they will not respond to you. Joe says they're never in the office, so they don't answer phone calls. Carrie rings, email says, out of the office every day. Kim Conti, out of the office every day. So there's a court order where the district is supposed to communicate with the parents and let them know what's going on a daily basis. Well, if they have an attorney, why can't the attorney contact the parents and let them know what's going on? But she won't. But now here's another thing. Okay. This court order was signed, right? She's not getting an education. We emailed the legislator. We emailed the mayor, Dalsofor, whatever her name is. We emailed Joe something Miguel Figueredo, and we emailed the committee. We went to the legislator. We have been calling everybody and everybody around the world for help because the board of district will not help you. No, they won't. So we have a court order that was dated and closed out in case because there's a settlement proposal. Guess what, guys? We're back in court again with the same dumb attorney. And this Judge Thomas R. Benacourt. Wow. obviously Miss Tarika and Judge Benacourt know each other because you can tell in their voices. He's like, oh, hi, Miss Tarika. How are you? It's been a long time. It's so good to see you again. Yeah. So then Miss Tarika decided to call my husband a liar. And my husband started defending himself. But who got yelled at? The judge yelled at my husband and protected the attorney. Now, we tried to explain to the judge everything that's been going on since 2019, but he doesn't want to hear it. All he says is that why is the district using a 2019 IEP? He even said that she was due for testing as of January of 2020. He asked, where's the behavior implementation? Where is this? Where's that? Where's that? You know what the attorney says? I'm not sure, Judge. I'm not sure, Judge. I'm not sure, Judge. I'm not sure, Judge. Wow. That's great communication, you got, right? I'm not sure, Judge. I'm not sure, Judge. See, this attorney doesn't seem to understand that I'm the type of mother. I will keep all of my daughter's documents. Even when she started preschool, all the drawings that she made from birth up until 16 years old, I have everything of hers. Would you like me to show it to you? Where's your records? This big ass binder is my daughter's file. This big ass binder is my daughter's file. 1 second, guys. I got more. Oh, this one? This is my daughter's files. You're going to tell me I don't keep records? Well, I do. So, upon all this, we went back to court just recently. And I was in the process of asking the attorney, what happened to the consent forms that we signed with Judge Cookson back in November? And she couldn't answer that. No, I got yelled at by the attorney. The judge, I meant. The judge said he does not care what Judge Cookson ordered. It's not in her hands anymore. It's in his. What he says goes. Wow. Okay. So how's that helping the parents? Oh, by the way, his wife's a teacher, and he knows there's shortages. Oh, my goodness. But meanwhile, he doesn't realize the effect that it's having on a 16-year-old child who's not getting an education at all. We called Trenton. We had to sign another document to Trenton today. Because they're delaying of evaluations, implementing services, implementing education, implementing anything that my daughter can possibly receive. So let's ask you guys this. She's 16. She's supposed to be in high school, a sophomore. Where's the life skills? Where is high school supposed to teach you life skills? How to make it in the world, help you grow. You're supposed to associate with your peers. You're supposed to, find a balance. You're supposed to be able to grow. But unfortunately, my daughter is being neglected and deprived of that. Yeah. And no one from this goddamn district will help you. No one. We sent paperwork over again to Trenton because Judge Benacourt will not enforce Judge Cookson's court order. Well, according to Trenton of New Jersey, there was a settlement proposal, and Judge Benacourt has to enforce that court order regardless of anything. There's no changes, nothing whatsoever. But this attorney wants to turn around and say, well, we don't want to do virtual, this and that. Meanwhile, in her other settlement proposals, yes, we'll set up virtual, we'll set up this, we'll get her extra time, we'll catch her up, we'll do all of this. And now we're being told it's going to take 6 months. What, by June? So she missed a whole year of schooling. Whole year. Then you email Scott Taylor for help. I can't help you. I talked to Tanya. She said, I'm calling Kim Conti right now. And then she backs her. She says, I can't help you no more. But Scott Taylor can go on the news, talk about COVID-19, right? But he can't help a child in need. You email the mayor, no response. You email the committee, no response. Joseph crying. The legislature office, the Union Center, no response. Nobody. So you have to do it on your own. Because you know why? You can't afford an attorney. Attorney intakes are $425. That's not including retainer fee. That's only an hour of free constellation. I don't have $425. And they know that. But I know what I'm doing. So we just sent documents over again today because I called Trenton. Now, when I spoke to Trenton today, and she even said the case was closed, there were court orders by Judge Gail Cookson, and that Judge Benacourt has to enforce that court order. Because there's nothing being changed. Except they just gave us 2 new doctors to have her evaluate. Wait, in the other previous quarter, there was a doctor's name to evaluate her. Yeah. So, we did that again. But then we also explained to Trenton that we had waived the right for a resolution, for emergent relief, for mediation. We want to go straight to due process. And we also explained to Trenton how this attorney also, Office of Administration of a telephone conference, who gives you the access code to call in for the telephone court hearing, disconnected you because you were asking the judge a question. And the attorney started yelling at you because she knows his attorney. Now, here's another thing we also found out in one of the emails, that we were supposed to have Judge Moskowitz on December 9th. The attorney emails, oh no, that time's not good enough for me. So what happened to Judge Moskowitz? We were never informed of it. All of a sudden we get a new judge. So let's see who's playing games now. Okay. I have emailed the mayor this morning, the committee this morning. I called Trenton, sending out my paperwork again, to reinforce my daughter's education. Now, Judge Benacourt court ordered me to sign off on consent forms, have my daughter evaluated. Right? I sent Ms. Tarika an email stating, where's the evaluations that I signed off of with Judge Gail Cookson back in November? No response. And I also indicated to her she needs to fix my daughter's name. I also indicated to her, because they want me to release her past evaluations to determine which evaluations they want to do. According to New Jersey State IDEA Act and Disabilities Act, everything else, they cannot do that. It's against the law. You cannot conduct an evaluation from an old evaluation. When you move from state to state or from district to district, your IEP is going to follow you, yes. But when you register into a new school, they have to reevaluate you to determine appropriate placement, which they're still not doing. So now I also contacted the Administrator of Law office out in Newark and explained to them that Judge Benacourt is way too friendly with this attorney and it's a conflict of interest. And I also indicated to them that my daughter has not been receiving education since October 12, 2021. I also indicated to them that there is a court order signed from Judge Cookson. Just because the district didn't sign it, which was supposed to be Kim Conti, and didn't notarize it, it doesn't mean shit. It's a court order. It's a legal binding document, settlement proposal, and Sharif Tariqa wants to say there was none provided. How? When we have copies of it. Triton has a copy of it. You're the one who sent it to us. The judge signed it. So how are you going to lie to the judge? And she wants to say that we filled out papers for emergent relief, which my husband corrected her and the judge. And my husband turned around and said, no, Your Honor, we waived all that, right? We want to go to straight due process. He said, there's two due processes. My husband said, no, there was only one. Yeah. We have documentation to prove that too. So the OLA people told me that it doesn't matter if it's Judge Benacourt or if it's Judge Cookson. According to the administrative law offices, their attorneys over there, Judge Benacourt has to enforce Judge Cookson's court order for special education to implement services right away. Yeah. And then the consent forms to sign to have her evaluated. Guys, listen, it's the holidays. He said they got to the third week of January if nothing said I'm doing my own IEP. Really? This should have been done since November. Everything should have been set up since November. It was signed and ready to go. What happened? So I also found out that our taxpayers' monies, property taxes, anybody is actually paying you. You guys are actually paying, including me, my husband, my brother, my sister, my family, your family. This whole Union County Township is actually paying this attorney to fight not to educate my child. It's your taxpayers' money. And your funding of $11,000 to each child. Now, since that funding is not going to my daughter, it's going to the attorney, which is fraud. Apparently, there has been a couple of schools out of state who defrauded on IEPs just to get funding, which now they're on lawsuits. Yeah. Welcome to the world of special education, isn't that right? Not enough teachers, not enough special education, nothing. So what do you do with a 16-year-old who asks you every day, am I ever gonna go to school? Am I ever gonna get an education? I had dreams of going to college. How can you answer a 16-year-old child who already has issues? What do you do with the child when you're working, your husband's working, and she's gonna stay home all by herself because she is an only child? What are you supposed to do as parents? This is your taxpayers' money. And this is how this town, this district, this county treats you like you're a piece of garbage as a parent. That's what they do. That's what they do. And the attorney lies on parents and slandering their names in petitions, saying that we are nothing but liars when we have all the evidence, saying that we are all barriers to my daughter's education when we've been fighting for her since 2019. Who's gonna help? Who's gonna help? Who's gonna help? We have counted so many violations that has happened. I can't file a civil rights complaint yet until this goes in. I can file a complaint with the Commission Board of Ethics for violations against the whole entire district, including the mayor, because she knows about it and she won't respond to you because her funding is more important to make the town look so much better than help a family in need. You can't email Governor Murphy. He don't give a shit about your kids. You can't do nothing. You can't. Our rights as a parent has been violated. My daughter's special needs has been violated. We have gone to the news channels. We have gone to the newspapers. We have done everything possible. The mayor wants to get on the news and say, oh my gosh, she's such a great mayor. She's so good for this county. Really? How come she's not helping with education? Yeah. There are such violations that has been done. A lot. Which means that my husband and I are gonna have to continue fighting. But I just want everyone to know the year's already over and my daughter lost a year of schooling. They want me to give up. That's why they never put any other services into play, because it's costing the county more money to test your child. That's why they want you to give up. That's why they want you to give up. And then they want to send you a letter in the mail and say, here's the STEMI program. Please put your insurance card information on there so we can test for evaluations. No. No. We're only still at the state level. We haven't gone to the New Jersey Bar Association yet on this attorney. We have contacted the OAL judge, the highest judge that's in charge. That's our next. Then we have to go through the Commission Board of Ethics, Civil Rights, Discrimination Act. How many more? All of these Disability Acts complaints we have to file. How much more is my child gonna take? How do you explain to a 6-year-old child, I'm sorry, kid, but you're never gonna get an education because they don't care about you? Because all schools say, oh, we can't handle you, but there's supposed to be behavioral school programs, right? To help her needs emotionally, everything with her ADHD, everything. She's been on medication. They all know that. But you still can't answer a 16-year-old kid whose life is just being wasted away by sitting fucking home. Where you either A, let her stay home for a little while and then Uber her to your job just so she gets out of the house. Who has no friends, who has very little friends. This is part of alienation on a child. Neglect. Just the other day she asked my husband, Daddy, when am I gonna go back to school? What do you say? What do you say? We actually emailed the judge on that. We said, who is going to explain to her when she's gonna go back to school? Nobody responds. If the district is court ordered to talk to the parents and they have an attorney, if you don't want to talk to us, why can't the attorney talk to us? Because she doesn't care. She's making money off you guys. She's making money off me. She's making money off the funding, everything. Then now we have to write a letter to the Federal Board of Funding and let them know that there has been fraud going on because it's not being appropriately used. Then we have to go after them for punitive damages as well. On all of us. She can't get working papers because the district will not provide it for her. "16 years old. Her life just went right by. Education doesn't exist in the state of New Jersey anymore. Does it? No, right?
Nope.
No, that's my husband. That's my husband.
It's a joke.
This is more than just a joke. This is the most depressing thing that a mother and parents have to go through, to watch their child suffer every damn fucking day. I told Judge Cookson I had to put my daughter on 3 steps of medications now. 3. For her depression, ADHD, and another one. And then I had to take her to another psychiatrist. So now she's got 2 psychiatrists, 2 therapists, and the other psychiatrist put her on PTSD medication. Yeah. Isn't this emotional abuse too? Yeah. So once this goes viral, I'm going to ask anybody who watches this in the media, on social media, to please, parents who have special education children, know your rights before you do anything. Contact your state. Look up legal guys. Look up all your rights before you do anything so they don't fuck you over like they did us. Anybody who does see this, we're just asking for help. We don't want money. We don't want any of that. We want to start an uproar. Because this has gone long enough. All kids are already suffering because of fucking COVID. And then you got special needs kids who are also suffering because of COVID. And then you got one who cannot get an education.
Statistics.
Instead of that new law that Governor Murphy came out with, Every Student Succeeds Act, well, guess what? My child will not succeed. She will not succeed. She will never have a career. She will never, ever be able to do anything in her life to know what life skills are. Because none of it's being taught. She will never learn a lot of math because it's not being taught. And she will never learn a lot of English because it's not being taught. Socialization, she won't even learn because she's not with her public peer community. She will not be able to survive on her own. And our fear is that, God forbid something happens to both of us, our child will be so screwed because she doesn't even know how to count money. Because none of it is being taught. Nothing. She doesn't know how to spell. Nothing. So parents who has kids who have behavioral issues, do your research on schools. Make sure you have everything in writing before you put your children in those schools. Make sure it is appropriate for your children. Make sure they are going to meet every single needs of the child. Make sure everything's implemented in all IEPs. Make sure you stay on top of it, like I have. You have to be on top of your kids' education these days in every aspect of their lives. Know your special education law. Know the DRNJ. Know the civil rights. Know the compliance. Know everything. Know your government's contact information. Know who to call. Know the OAL, all of their phone numbers. Know your community, the community's phone number, mayor, everybody. Try to reach out to whoever you can. But unfortunately, we're the unlucky ones. We are the unlucky ones. I have every constitutional right to cross-examine the attorney as well as my husband does. My daughter has every right to sit in on those hearings, but she's not allowed to talk because nobody wants to hear out of her mouth. That's what she's told. And she's told that. She was told that by Judge Gail Cookson. I don't want to hear from you. Yeah. A 16-year-old child. No, all your OAL judges know where to go for special education services in every state, who to contact. Know your federal departments. Maybe someone up out there will see this. Or maybe a lot of you will see this and actually help. My child is the most sweetest kid ever. Ever. She does everything and anything for her friends. All she wants is to be educated so she can get a college degree and do what she wants to do. She wanted to go to school to become a nurse and follow in my older brother's footsteps. But now that's taken away from her. I don't know what's more depressing to the parents or a 16-year-old kid when you can't explain to them. We're doing everything we can, kiddo. And we have done everything we can for her. But nobody on the district level, from the county, nor the attorney, or the caseworkers, the mayor, the committee, the legislator, the superintendent, they will not get involved. So what do we do now? What is left to do? Absolutely almost nothing. Besides not giving up and keep fighting. So I asked the public, once this video goes up, please respond with comments. And if you have any information, if you know anybody that can help, if you know anything that we do not know, please respond. Please help. That's all we're asking. You got parents who can't sleep at night, which destroys you because you're so worried about your child. Going to bed at 7 o'clock at night because she's so depressed. Not even that. Just 2 weeks ago, my daughter and I were in Walmart. Jasmine and Marilyn decided to attack my daughter again on social media, saying they were going to come to my house, they were going to beat the shit out of my daughter. But my daughter, my child, Bailey Davis, gets terminated for defending herself. Meanwhile, this little 2 other girls and everybody else in that school are still attacking her on social media. Not only are they attacking her on social media, they're also attacking her other friend Dylan. They're also attacking her other friend Elizabeth. Dylan lives in Milford, and Elizabeth lives in Trenton. They're attacking everyone that she knows. But my daughter gets terminated, right? That's great. That's great. Our child gets terminated for defending herself. And she still gets attacked on social media. So when you got a child who's laying in bed and saying, I'm depressed, I don't want to eat, I don't want to do this, I don't want to go anywhere, you're trying to have fun, you're trying to put on a face, but then you're a parent, and it kills you deep inside because you don't know what else to do. Your stomach starts hurting, you can't sleep, you can't eat, you can't function, but you still get up every morning with a smile on your face just so she thinks there's nothing wrong. My husband cried the other day because she hugged him and said, Daddy, when am I going back to school? She stays in her room all day. What are you going to do when 2 parents have to work to support a household, to support your kid? But they want to keep putting us through the ringer and through the ringer and through the ringer and through the ringer. But we also found out something. The longer this district drags on without doing services for my daughter, the longer she drags it on, the more she's getting herself into trouble, including the district attorney. Because according to the law, from the time that court order was signed, they had 30 days. And they are past their 30 days deadline. So which is a violation of the court order? I'm sure her law firm would love this. Yeah. I know there's millions of people out there who will probably see this video or not. If you do watch it, just please listen to the whole entire thing. Don't skip nothing. And if you live in Union, New Jersey, my husband will put a link up where you can contact us if you know any way of help. If there's attorneys out there who are willing to help us to get this done and over with already, enough is enough. Is all we're asking. We don't have much money. We don't. If there's any attorneys that sees this and is willing to help on a pro bono basis, please contact us. Please. So I thank you all. Hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. We will put a link up, an email or something for contact info. We do thank you for your time and any support. We gratefully do appreciate it. Thank you all.